FNRG finalizing their 3 wins, or is it going to be Team Liquid with the reverse sweep?
Team Liquid with the reverse sweep would be a story indeed. I mean, FNRGFE could still be proud of their progress in the tournament, but that would be bitter. It'd be bitter to swallow given how they started out the series.
Absolutely. And, you know, as a team without necessarily an official sponsor, cash is cool. I like getting more money. Cash prize still on the line. Of course, that is not all that important online. It's, of course, getting to Overwatch Contenders Season 1. How appropriate is it that Fury is playing Reaper? I mean, I'd make fun of that guy in ladder. I'm like, oh, your name's Fury and you play Reaper.
I mean, I would expect him just to be the edgiest person ever. I mean, he would be so edgy that if you shook his hand, your hand would be bleeding.
Yeah, it's a close shave with that guy. Fury is going to switch over to the Diva instead, so no Reaper on the menu. But as we mentioned, possibility for the pharmacy is high as Buds and Banny team up for the side of FNRGFE.
And both teams right now just trading out poke, neither going too deep here. AZK probing for weakness into the back. Team Liquid definitely getting poked down a little bit harder. They're going to lose Fury immediately, but Bonnie is down. Shatter getting the Mercy damage into the back. But it will not be enough here. FNRGFE is able to rotate around and get the better of that. Banny's life was well paid for.
Shatter soloed that combo. He got both of them actually towards the end. Genjis have really figured out how to be anti-air Genjis, and good for them. But meanwhile, the ground war went all in favor of FNRGFE, and Buds and Bonnie probably throwing some rockets over the top here momentarily when they get back in. But Team Liquid not going to allow that to happen as they want to rush in.
Nope, Team Liquid coming right back up. Buds holding way back, laying down damage-boosted rockets, just hoping for a pickoff from afar. Clockwork finds AZK in that tracer-on-tracer battle, so relatively even back and forth. Both Tracers out of it to hang with a little bit of revenge, but Banny goes for the tempo res, brings it back up to 6, which means they do have a 6v5 here, Hex.
Completely smart. They've done so much damage over there, too. It's going to be Sound Barrier come off versus Transcendence. Sound Barrier generally a little better for that. Boink and Muma will fall. Buds has been back in the mix in the sky, but yet again, Banny goes down to Rafa, of all people. Must have been on the ground.
Banny is going to fall, and Team Liquid slowly bringing this one right back. They do need to get full control of the point, though, even as FNRGFE is starting to bleed people. Clockwork just dashed through and taken down, and Matt will be the last one to fall. Well, he was really trying to be the last one to fall. He was looking for the cliff.
Shatter's played really well. This is the time I start questioning the pharmacy combination, and it's as simple as much more difficult, much less usable when you don't have control of the point. Gonna have to try to find an angle. But not surprised me to see them rotate around through the right side and try to take cover behind the building while firing rockets over the top. Meanwhile, some pressure will come in the point. That's smart, gets them out of position, maybe in position to eat some of these rockets.
Buds again just in the sky, not really under a whole lot of pressure here just yet, looking for any targets to lay the damage into, but Team Liquid not wanting to give up, dropping the barrier and coming right back in. It's going to force FNRGFE back a bit, and yet they don't lose anyone here. Matt bears the brunt of the damage, still up and alive, under heavy pressure, finally loses the mech, but it's not enough for FNRGFE here. They lose Matt, they lose Clockwork, and yet the resurrection comes in, so maybe they can turn it, but still seems a little bit rough.
The reses have been good. One of the big issues I'm starting to have with the pharmacy combo is Buds just isn't hitting rockets right now. He's just not hitting the rockets. It's as simple as that. No, I'm sure he has days where he hits rockets, but Farah is like that, where some days you're just an inch off or here or there, and you're not going to get the damage you need. However, res has been very important for him. Regardless of that res, they've been only able to pull it back yet.
There's a little bit of delay there. Rafa will end up falling in. I don't know about this. They're delaying here at the Transcendence and hoping the Dragon Blade can bring it back, but this is gambling on Cheddar, and hey, it might pay off. He does get 2, so that's more than you can expect in that situation sometimes. So maybe this has worked out for Liquid. They're still not in a dominant position. Buds will get a bit of cleanup. However, that combo did buy them an extra 10, 15%.
This has been totally fine as they've been able to stagger people back in. They get off the point at the very last second, but it's probably fine. They're 93% now, 1 fight away, and actually that res is going to be forced out too. So not only did they stall that out, they forced out a lot of ultimates that necessarily didn't need to come. And now only Clockwork's gonna have his Pulse Bomb. Liquid 1 fight away.
Well, they forced out ultimates, but it also did come at the cost of Transcendence and Dragon Blade, so it was hardly that. I mean, they got extra percentage as a result. The problem is for Liquid is that because they're taking a while to set back up, this could be their final attempt at the fight, and Muma with Primal Rage alone can stall this out quite a bit. So this is going to be interesting. I think FNRGFE is in a slight position of advantage here when you combine positioning and ult economy. But here we go. The next fight is underway. Liquid coming in from the side. The Primal Rage will be forced out immediately, but Muma able to throw to hang off. and that Primal Rage proving very integral to FNRGFE's defense here.
Muma's been great all day. His rages, his aggression, and being able to get out alive, and that is most of the kills on the docket for FNRGFE. They will clean up the first stage, 2 stages away here on Nepal for moving on to the grand finals.
So FNRGFE, despite a rough 2 maps that they had to endure, they are looking good on control all the same, but Liquid is looking much better than they did in the first round of control, so Nepal's definitely more their speed.
This is the nice thing about the Mercy ult, though, is that Buds is able to play really aggressive with that. He's 3 feet off the ground in the face of people, and he barrages, because he knows he's got a second life. He's going to be brought back to life. And even though I thought he had some of a rougher game, the fact that they were able to keep Banny alive as well as they were and get those resurrections was probably the reason that they won that stage.
Let me ask you this. What do you think of the bold no D.Va strategy coming out here from Team Liquid?
Generally don't like it. I think D.Va's pretty good in this meta. And now it's going to be... They better out-frag Buds. That must be the issue there, because they don't have any other way to stop it.
Because for me, FNRGFE gets a much more powerful dive here with Matt protecting everyone. He can be in the thick of everything, protect 3 people while they're doing unfettered DPS. So I feel like this is putting a lot of pressure on AZK right now as he creeps to the back, because if they engage right now, it's a 6v5.
Yeah, it's just a different style that they're going to opt for, more damage rather than damage reduction. But it does appear that Cool Matt chose correctly there. Able to boop off Winston and get Shatter there. That is a quick 5 kills from FNRGFE. And Fury on the 76, they wanted to just more damage and did not work out at all. You give up a lot when you give up a D.Va.
They can't straight up fight FNRGFE here. That's the problem.
Right.
Defensive Matrix is going to be nullifying half of their damage outright. Well, I don't know. This is
How do you even get in now? I mean, it's a hard map to get in on to begin with, and try to do so with 1 tank is even that much harder. Look how quickly that shield melts.
Shield melts rather quickly, and this is just... I'm not going to say it's mission impossible, because they do find Banny immediately, but Team Liquid is making this difficult for themselves. But their flanking offense does work out this time around. Yeah. They're able to catch FNRGFE a bit off guard. FNRGFE isn't able to turn that into a deep dive deathball fight, so Team Liquid is able to retake control of the point.
It's not necessarily a rock, counter, scissors type of thing. It's just a different style to play. I thought they were going to have trouble getting in, but they did get in, and then they scattered about. They want to triangulate people with this triple DPS to get both the dive on it, then have the consistent damage from Fury.
It's just more difficult in this case, where Sanctum does give you the ability to be more clumped up and throw this in. And Team Liquid's answer here, you go into Transcendence, go in deep, and look for kills. Shatter's in the reserve with the Dragon Blade, but never found a great opportunity to use it here just yet. But now that's evened up and D.Va's out, he still could use it.
And these fights are taking place all over the place, which is really interesting that they want to scatter a little bit. I don't know why they put people on the point when this triple DPS is going to be better at responding to a spread out team rather than a death volley style coming in. And because of that, Liquid's able to get the cleanup, 2 quick kills as dashes come through from Shatter.
Cleanup describing it, and then some to Shatter, where Team Liquid, they have been able to flip this on its head. Despite FNRGFE winning the first fight very decisively, Team Liquid's been able to just poke from the sides and make this more their own. And this can't keep happening after FNRGFE. You can't keep staggering deaths like that.
They chose to split up, which I think is a really big mistake against triple DPS like that. They chose to put 1 or 2 people on the point, and you're just going to get Velociraptored on by all the damage that Team Liquid has for them. That's what has struggled the last couple fights. We're nearing 75%, and there's some alts still on the table for Liquid because they've won fights before they started. Come on!
We've seen that spot before from Soldiers before, so Clockwork split up, caught out, and destroyed to start out this fight. And Shatter, this blade going awfully close to enemy territory right now, gets 1, and that's more than enough for Liquid. The only issue is that there's still the slight possibility of FNRGFE getting back on the point. They might have done that a little bit too early, and we have a pause.
Perhaps a disconnect. We're just going to pause, and we're going to get right back into it. Yeah, I just wanted to catch my breath real quick. My fault, guys. Off the edge goes Clockwork, as maybe just some lag or something coming out of the pause. It was a very odd-looking play there. Maybe didn't hit his blink on time. Something went awry, and that awry means that Liquid very likely going to tie this up 1-1 on Nepal, unless some sort of miracle happens. I don't see it happening.
Well, credit for Team Liquid there and breaking that, and also just coming back, because the very beginning of that did not look good for them at all. And they were still able to get around, split up FNRGFE, and really mitigate some of the benefits that the D.Va can give them.
Yeah, I just think that at that point in time, I don't know why FNRGFE starts spreading out a little bit. They need to be in this area where they're all together. That's what helps deal with Fury, that you can just, everyone sit in the Matrix, everyone gets the protection, and they started putting people all over the place. Got a little too big for their britches there, and were punished for it.
Well, it is 1-1, and remember, what is at stake here is a date with Immortals in the Grand Finals. The loser will be done in Contenders, but of course, both of these teams have qualified for Season 1.
We're essentially best of 3 on Nepal now to see who goes on to the finals.
And bear in mind for Team Liquid, this is a reverse sweep that's at stake, so that'd be pretty good for them if they're able to bring this one back.
And pretty disheartening for FNRG.
Yeah,
let's be equal opportunities here. Well, they are rolling in here. No Sombra. I thought this might be a stage you could see her on it if a team really wanted to run it and wanted to force it in.
Very well could, and for now, we're not going to see the Sombra. FNRGFE wins the poke war a little bit more decisively. Fury already out, which means this could snowball pretty badly. If Matt dives into that room, there's not going to be a lot of response from Team Liquid, and right now they are losing players left, right, and center. Decisive fight coming out here from FNRGFE.
It's a kind of a snowballing composition when you have the triple DPS. You get that one kill, then you're able to put out so much damage the other team can't respond to, and especially losing Fury like that. Like, that is the worst one to lose.
Well, right now is that if they're losing the Diva v Diva setups, I wouldn't even mind them, even if it's not as meta by... I mean, opinions go back and forth, but I do wonder, maybe go back to triple DPS in this case.
Yeah, I mean, the general consensus is that Diva's pretty good. I think maybe running a Diva here when the wide open areas, because Defense Matrix can guard so much area that it's important for them to switch over to it. Still, although as the next fight ensues, rather bloodless, Bud's gonna pop the visor, chases a Tracer around, then gets a Diva in his face, gets nothing.
Contrary to the popular belief, Soldier does not always have everyone in his sights, but after the visor fades, a rocket to AZK will seal his fate, and FNRGFE burning some ultimates here to maintain control, but more than some, really. 3 very key ultimates being cashed in here to stay on here as Shatter goes for the reset.
I don't know how you really die to self-destruct there as a Lucio. There's that big pillar in the middle you can get behind. You have rollerblades, you have speed boost, but Rafa did die to that there early on. FNRGFE, 56% has not really even been that close. They've won every single fight on this stage so far. However, Shatter's got a blade, AZK's got a bomb. We are in the blades and bombs metas. Maybe Winskin drop a barrier.
If Team Liquid is going to reverse momentum, they need to do it here. Shadow's going to have to feel out the sound barrier, go in when it's either low or already used. But Team Liquid now taking an opportunity. Mezar going for the knockoff, and Matt out of the fight immediately. Fury and AZK double teaming him into the back. And this is looking better for Team Liquid here, and they haven't even had to use a blade.
Well, Mumma's he's just beating up to Hang in the corner, and he's going to be able to jump back on the point and provide some presence. However, even though it was neat to take down to Hang there, I would have liked to see him on the point. I think his presence on the point would have been a little bit more valuable than it was just taking out a single support in the back line. However, 92% for FNRGFE.
92% for them, and for them, what does that mean? That means they're one fight away from pulling this one back. They will have attack visor the next fight, but perhaps more importantly, the Transcendence. I think both Transcendences will be somewhat of a wash here. The important thing for Buds is that he doesn't think he can open with attack visor and then waste it into Dahang's Transcendence.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see how these ults are really executed. That Pulse Bomb does not find the initial kill that it is looking for as AZK continues to dance around. FNRGFE seems focused on something over there. I'm not entirely sure if there's a kill that they're looking for.
Buds is under assault. Buds is getting hit from the back, getting hit from the front. The Transcendence keeping him alive, and he does go for the tack visor, but it's a bad time for the tack visor. Well, no, it's not that bad at all. He takes down Fury. That was the case where it swapped.
It went soldier to soldier.
It went from soldier to soldier for a second.
Fury had the bad visor. Yeah, Fury had the bad visor. No problems there as FNRGFE able to pull that off. Yeah, Fury with the responding visor was a terrible idea. That's happened to me so many times. Don't worry about it.
Goes in any case. Buds does come out on top there and then some, and it's in overtime. FNRGFE wanting to take this round, cleaning up Team Liquid as they come back in. And now, we'll see if they can hold against Team Liquid as they try and delay. Rafa might be able to sound barrier here, but you have barrier, you have rage. So we have seen teams pull it back here, but it's going to require FNRGFE to misplay a little bit.
The barrier only hits 2 people there, AZK and Rafa. Counter barrier comes in, hits 4. That is going to be a much better barrier as the cleanup does come in. Team Liquid looks for a miracle to Hang, switches over to the Sombra to do just that. But it is all FNRGFE, one stage away from going on to face Immortals. If you're Immortals, which team do you think you'd rather face?
Right now, I would say you probably want to go after Team Liquid of the two, and it's just because there are 2 control maps in the pool, and Team Liquid thus far has not looked great. And Immortals is very good at the other matchups that perhaps FNRGFE isn't good at. I mean, you can make the case both ways based on what I just said.
I mean, I don't really have an answer because I think both are both are going to struggle. Team Liquid has run the Sombra, which I think is a little dangerous against them, but Immortals has looked good against everyone, so I don't think it matters.
I almost feel like to defeat Immortals here, you need sort of like a fusion between the teams, where FNRGFE plays your control maps, Team Liquid plays the other maps, and then you combine to try and take down Immortals as if they were some evil anime villain.
Is that allowed, Gill?
Yeah, 100%, yes.
we got it here first. Fusion is allowed. The players will have to merge their names, though.
Totally the rules.
Cool Ralpha 69 coming at you. Anyways, we are getting back into the game. Buds once more on the Pharah into the skies.
It's been fun. Again, I think the big part of this is that they're just relying on Resurrection so much that it doesn't much matter that Buds is doing just okay. I mean, just chip damage here, but they've relied so hard on the Resurrection. And look, it kind of does zone them out a little bit. They don't want to come any closer to the combo. AZK has been having to dance around and use all of his abilities just to dodge rockets.
Well, this time around, the early opening fight goes a little bit better for Team Liquid. Buds not able to find the targets early on, and Team Liquid firmly taking the ground war. This is not something FNRGFE is going to come back from in this fight, and that will mean a first capture going the way of Team Liquid.
They're going to run the combo yet again, just because Bonnie's so close to Resurrection, that you have to continue to run it. You went in on this, you might as well continue to go in on this, but I do question, I mean, some of the damage is not quite there, not able to zone them out as well as you would like. And now they always have the option of just hiding on the point and huddling in there under the roof.
Nice pulse bomb. Immediately, it forces out the Resurrection. So it's a Resurrection for pulse bomb trade. Pretty good there for Team Liquid to open things up. And they come in with the Blade. Shatter knows that anyone he puts down is not coming back up this time. And yet, not sure Matt was the best target to go in on there towards the end. But is he going to get down? He is down! Matt not able to get back into it. And that is going to be a reset coming out here from FNRGFE.
Very difficult. I mean, look how far away this combo's had to ride. Like, they're trying to get around the edge, but they're getting denied so hard over the top. Bud's trying to get in these long-range rockets, but projectiles aren't super fast in this game. They're pretty easy to dodge at this range.
They are, and honestly, I want to see FNRGFE give up on the ferry here. I think use the barrage, and if you don't take the point, please swap. You've been doing better in other straight-up matchups here, especially in maps like this, but Transcendent's going to come out here from the hang, keeping Team Liquid healthy on the point. FNRGFE, they time the sound barrier a little bit later to give them a window, and it works out. They take down Mezar, and now just slowly moving their way in.
Matt pulled his self-destruct through the point, then chased the Winston through the point with his pistol so that the Winston ran into the self-destruct. Great play by Matt. The barrage comes in, and they will take first point. What I think they were doing there is with all the tanks on that side, you know, you had Winston and Diva over there, they wanted to clear out that right side for the barrage so that Buds had a good angle to come in over on the point. It's one of the places you see Diva, or rather Pharah barrage in more often than not. That is a brutal kill, though, as Dahang does all his own work and takes down Bounty from the skies.
Dahang getting in on the Mercy bullying. The bully has become, or the bullied has become the bully, so to speak.
He had res too. I mean, he takes him out. That's so huge for this fight.
It's a really nice secondary fire attack, and it's reminiscent of Boombox as it opens the door for Team Liquid. Shatter comes in, takes down 2, and Team Liquid looking good.
Yeah, they're going to save this res because right now not in the spot, but they're just going to meet up with his team and spawn, change of plans. They will come out, they will have Resurrection for this next fight, but it's a fight they have to win. Team Liquid at nearly 90% on this stage. We might be going to a stage 5 for all the marbles here, folks, as Team Liquid has a ton of ults to work with, and Banny will be the primary target.
Coming down to the wire here, Team Liquid, though, with a much bigger advantage on this point. FNRGFE holding on to the Pharah. But here comes Shatter. The blade is out. Immediately finds Bonnie. There will be no resurrection this time. And yet, with the hang down, it is even. So both supports are out. And this could work in FNRGFE's favor as Matt was able to even the tide.
You could not ask for a better first pick, and they're still going to lose this fight. That is absolutely brutal. Bonnie out of it, but should come back in. Yeah, Mezar is trying to take matters into his own primate hands. They will finally take him out. And now they didn't even have to burn the res here.
This is going to be very close. Team Liquid has 2, maybe 3 fights to burn here. They are in a big period of advantage. They have to be careful on their ult economy. If they throw both support ults into this and it gets nullified by a resurrection, that is the worst case scenario because FNRGFE could win this fight and then really pull things back.
Yeah, Matt's looking for a place to self-destruct. You might just plop it right down in the middle of the point. This is the angle that you want for your barrage, as well as you might drop down and try to get it. So many ults being popped, barriers on both sides. Liquid hits everyone in that barrier.
Boink wasn't able to hit really anyone with his barrier, but there's the resurrection. It brings up 3 for FNRGFE, and that was what Team Liquid needed to avoid. They killed everyone but the Mercy who could do that, and as a result, FNRGFE is still in the point. The problem is that they weren't able to keep control during that. It flipped back over.
Yeah, Liquid at 99% now, but they will get it in the end here. Bonnie will finally fall, but he did his job just fine right there. Butts hit a barrage somewhere in there as well. So, I mean, it's just kill the Mercy. Just kill the Mercy. Easier said than done, of course, especially with these pro-level Mercies able to come in towards the end. 65 to 99. Probably, given how these fights have been going, how long they've been lasting, we might be seeing the last engagement here.
It very well could be, and Team Liquid isn't going to have support ultimates to make this easy. They're going to have to win this on general grit and determination. Same goes for FNRGFE, so first pick off here is going to be really important as both teams play this a little bit more on the basics. But no, they're capturing the point again. FNRGFE has to get back on. They don't want to give this up for free again, and they do hop back in. It's an early primal rage from Mezar trying to make room, but Muma's getting more done into the back. Mezar swinging, but Muma's the one actually hitting. But Chatter de-meching Cool Matt, and here comes the blade.
Bowling for Dollars came in there, did not get any on the self-destruct. Liquid able to turn it back over. They just grab it even though there's people alive on the point. Bounty falls during that with Resurrection. And with that, much like the hopes of FNRG of closing this out, they lost 2 key cogs in this fight, ZP.
They lose 2 very key cogs, and again, FNRGFE was not able to keep their focus on the point. It meant that they had to come back in a panicked manner. And yeah, this best of 5 is going to a 5th and final round. And remember, for Team Liquid, this would be a reverse sweep, so this is going to be the determining factor, not only for who gets into the grand finals, but how salty FNRGFE might feel. And this is bad for them. This is not the RNG they wanted. They have gone back to Sanctum, which they had some trouble with, where even though you'd think the Diva would give them more of an edge in close quarters, Team Liquid was able to just run them around on the outskirts and get the edge on them. So if FNRGFE cannot adjust and fix their mistakes from last time, Team Liquid will be moving on.
They will run that exact same composition as last time. Triple DPS. Fury will be on 76, Shatter on Genji, AZK on Tracer. They need to find the adjustment here, and it was just Liquid. They need to not spread out. I thought FNRG did themselves a disservice by spreading out too often. Stay within the defensive matrix.
They're at their best when they can death ball into the other team right now, no doubt about it. They are getting flanked from the backside, and they are getting forced back a bit. So Team Liquid trying to make the most of space here, multiple attacking angles, and getting around the defensive matrix. So we'll see just how effective this is. But Manny, under assault in the back. It was AZK into the back line, but he's able to get away and get healed, but it draws FNRGFE back, which lets Team Liquid come in from the front.
They put a little pressure on the point now, too, as they try to get them out of position. What I liked is that Clockwork was set up to check AZK, who he knew was going to be coming through Mega. Muma is the first to fall, though, to Mezar.
He's the first to fall, but that can be very deadly when you're up against this DPS-heavy setup, because once you lose one against a setup like this, and that one being a tank, you can't really defend the rest. There's just too many threats, too much firepower, and Team Liquid, with the first control, now on their way to facing Immortals if they can hold on for another 90%.
This was the map they looked so good on, and this is the question I have, is how does FNRGFE come back in here? There's going to be so much damage from every different side. They're going to be peeking around a little bit as well. Boink might have to just burn the barrier just to gain entry. One of the harder maps to get back in once you've lost control of the point, 25% for Liquid.
Oh, the Pulse Bomb just donated into Matt's waiting maw there. Not what AZK was looking for. Now we'll see if FNRGFE can make the most of this opportunity. They don't have to worry about Pulse Bomb just yet. And Mezar falls. Was diving in with AZK because of that. And this is a good opportunity. The Transcends comes out, but it's not really hitting too many people here.
Stall.
Yeah, it's not great for them. And FNRGFE should be able to retake.
And we talked about how bad it was for FNRGFE to lose a tank. They have 2 of them. Team Liquid only has 1. So when they lost Mezar, that was essentially over right then and there. However, 50% on the clock for Liquid, and they do have a bevy of ultimates.
Liquid has many a way back into this fight. FNRGFE, it's going to be tough. I mean, the one thing is that they do have the Transcendence, so if Shatter just thinks he can barrier blade his way in, he might be in for a rude awakening. He has to save the blade for the right moment. But Nezar's gonna leap in, and they get Buds immediately. The Transcendence is late, and that could very well cost FNRGFE this fight. Because Buds dies early, not in the trans, it means that Team Liquid can come in and clean up everyone.
Just a great dive right there. There's no other way to say it. They executed it perfectly. The dash through came down with all the rest of the damage, and Liquid flips it back over despite stall mechanics trying to come out from FNRGFE. I believe they had Primal Rage Pop. They had, I think Matt was even near the point as well.
No, it looked like Matt was on the point. That's what was just confusing me there.
Yeah.
It looked like he was right over, and point didn't really care. But Team Liquid now 1 to 2 fights away from getting into the grand finals and completing the reverse sweep. This is do or die for FNRGFE. Clockwork has a pulse bomb at the ready. If you could get an early pick here, it'd be huge. But no, instead it's Buds. Gets picked early from the dive of Team Liquid. Nezar's out of the fight, though. There's no more tank for Team Liquid. Shatter's gonna have to bring this one back on a blade.
Zero tanks, but the onus is on FNRGFE to take the point. Shatter will pop that blade, spends most of the time deflecting. Not ideal, will find a target on his way out, and despite that, the other DPS chime in, get a couple more kills. 95% for Liquid. It might be all over ZP.
This very well could be it. I'm not even sure there's gonna be a delay. Buds coming back in, not able to get onto the point. Boink gives up his life. Overtime ticking away. Will anyone be able to touch it? No. Team Liquid completing the reverse sweep, sending FNRGFE home. We will see Team Liquid in the grand finals coming up in just a moment.
And of all the times that Liquid has gone the other way on this, being the team that gets reverse swept, it's like, this has to be beautiful to exercise some of their demons.
The old inverse Liquid happening
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Yeah.
What a set.
Yeah. I mean, it was not looking like it was going to be that close after the first 2 maps.
No, not at all.
It looked like Immortals would be challenged in their speedrunning abilities.
Yeah, and even after Hanamura, where they brought out the creative Sombra strategy, I was like, okay, well, you can't bring that out every map, but it wasn't just that they brought back. They brought back maybe their mentality, and they were focusing all the right things in those last 2 maps, and they were able to pull off the reverse sweep. And Team Liquid, who barely got into the group stage, they made it in here.
They clearly enjoy the adrenaline rush from almost getting eliminated.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at it as. Maybe not so much of the group stage, but certainly on qualifier week and now playoff week. They have flirted with the fire, but this time they come out unburned.
I hope that the next match is pretty close, because then I think North American Overwatch is in a very healthy spot, considering how close some of the sets that we've seen today are. But Immortals has looked just that. They've looked immortal, and then we, of course, know how good Rogue and Envious are. But it'd be nice to see if the teams that we just saw, FNRGFE and Liquid, and even some of the teams we saw earlier today, can all start hanging, because it's going to make Overwatch Contenders Season 1 that much better.
Oh, I'm so excited for it already. I mean, we still have the finals left. I'm pretty excited for the finals as well as Immortals and Team Liquid. These are 2 old teams that have gone up and